Yeah. Good evening, Father.
Good evening, sir. Warm welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, all present here. Yeah, sure. We should proceed.
Yeah, I
Thank
seek
you.
your permission. We seek your permission to start the program.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. Education at any level is to develop the personality of the individual and the significance of his life to himself and to others. And yes, the educators who teach children deserve more honor than parents who merely gave them birth, because it is the teachers who ensures a good life to the children. A very good evening and warm welcome to all the educators across the globe who have joined us this evening for the inauguration of the 7th All India Educators Meet on Reinventing School Education with Technology Integration, organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Kristu Jayanti College, Autonomous, Bangalore. Prayer is a powerful weapon that gives us eyes to see the best in people, a heart to forgive the worst, a mind to forget the bad, and a soul that never loses faith in God. Let us invoke the blessings of the Almighty as the choir leads us with an invocation song.
Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount I'm fixed upon it, mount of thy redeeming love. Come, my Lord, no longer tarry, take my ransom soul away. Send thine angels now to carry me to realms of endless day. Teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount I'm fixed upon it, mount of thy redeeming love.
Thank you. A warm and sincere welcome gives a sense of caring, makes people feel appreciated, and forge a direction for a long-lasting relationship. I invite Dr. Aloysius Edward, Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Management, Director, IQAC, to welcome the delegates.
Good evening to all of you. Warm greetings from Kristu Jayanti College, Autonomous, Bangalore. Respected Professor Sridhar Srivastava, Joint Director, National Council of Education Research and Training, NCRT, Ministry of Education, Chief Guest of the Day. Father Dr. Agassiz George, Principal, Kristu Jayanti College, Autonomous, Bangalore. Father Emmanuel PJ, Director, Kristu Jayanti College of Law. Dr. Kalisis Ju, Dean, Faculty of Sciences. Dr. Gopakumar, Dean, Faculty of Humanities. Dr. Jess Nelson Michael, Director, Center for Research. Professor Mary Jacob, Faculty Member, Department of Computer Science, Member, IQAC. Dr. Jonas Richard, Head Department of Social Work, Conveners of the 7th National Educators Meet. Principals, administrators, teachers of high schools, higher secondary schools, and PU colleges across the states of our country, and dear colleagues. At the outset, I, on behalf of the organizing committee of the National Educators Meet, welcome each and every one of you to the 7th National Level Educators Meet with the theme Reinventing School Education with Technology Integration, organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell of the college consecutively for the past 7 years. In today's knowledge economy, where information and data are free, every organization and institution, whether it is a business or education, is undergoing continuous change more suddenly and frequently than before. Educational organizations have no exception and we are always open to adapt to changes in order to meet the requirements of our stakeholders. All of you had shifted the new normal through integrating technology in teaching learning for the past 26 months. At this great moment, we sincerely appreciate all the administrators and teachers in school education for your selfless service in nurturing, guiding, transforming, and empowering the students who are the future of our nation. Today, education is passing through exciting times. Rising competition, widespread educational activities, and enhancement of technology are some of the significant factors creating great impact on education. During the past few years, the world has witnessed a phenomenal growth in communication technology, computer network, and information technology. Now we live in the fourth industrial revolution, which is being driven by top 10 technologies that are transforming our lives and industrial production. The educational systems and processes are greatly influenced by incredibly rapid technological changes. As per a report published on June 3rd, 2021, India has overtaken the United States in terms of internet usage and now stands only next to China after witnessing a phenomenal 40% year-on-year growth. Productivity is considered as comparative analysis of inputs and outputs. In educational system, the inputs are the teachers, students, classroom materials, equipment of teaching, the pedagogical methods, and outputs are quantity and quality of student learning. Proper integration of information and communication technologies with the teaching learning environment increases education and increased productivity. We'll have to make use of these rich and exciting opportunities offered by these new technologies in education to reach our new vision and goal. In this scenario, the role of teacher changes from the knowledge transmitter to that of facilitator and sometimes as co-learner. ICT provides powerful tools to support the shift from the teacher-centered to the learner-centered. In the technological advancements front, the lifespan of companies has been shrinking mainly due to evolution of technology, advanced processes, and innovative solutions. Gramophone, Kodak, Nokia, and many others become non-existent primarily due to technological advancements. Electrical vehicles, smartphones, and drones are the classical examples of creative destruction. Historical data shows that the evolving technology has been a job creator. Man and machines need to coexist. Many of the jobs that exist today did not exist 5 years or 10 years before. So we are preparing our students for jobs that don't exist today. So it is imperative to understand these technological changes and advancements and effect of these changes in education as an educator or administrator of an education institution. In this backdrop, the Internal Quality Assurance Cell of the college organizes 3-day national level educators meet on reinventing school education with technology integration. On this great occasion, we have a person who introduced a lot of innovative approaches in teacher education, an efficient administrator, an excellent teacher in statistics, and significantly contributing to national curriculum framework under NEP 2020, Professor Sridhar Srivastava, Joint Director, NCERT, Ministry of Education, the chief guest of the day. Dear sir, we are extremely overwhelmed by your virtual presence today evening, and you are the inspiration of all the teachers here. I, on behalf of the management, teachers, and participants gathered in this virtual platform, welcome you to the 7th National Educators Meet. Warm welcome to Professor Sridhar Srivastava. Kristu Jayanti College Autonomous focuses on creating holistic excellence and prepares the students for life with core values of faith, integrity, dignity, and excellence through its educational philosophy, values, attitude, skills, and knowledge. We strongly believe that quality in higher education is a continuous journey, and our institution has achieved many milestones in its quality journey within 23 years of its existence. Re-accredited with the A++ grade by NAC, the CGPA of 3.78 out of 4, which is the second highest in the country and the highest in the state of Karnataka, received the first place at the national level Clean and Smart Campus Award by the Government of India from Sri Dharmendra Pradhan, Honorable Minister of Education. Launch of National Education Policy at our college campus. For the first time, the state of Karnataka by the Honorable Minister of Higher Education of Government of Karnataka, Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayan, ranked the best emerging college of the century at the national level as per India Today survey consecutively for the past 4 years, and many more awards and achievements because of commitment, dedication, and sincere efforts of our fathers. On this great occasion, I express my warm welcome to Father Dr. Augustine George, our beloved principal, who has brought innovations through implementation of latest technology in teaching learning, such as blended learning and flipped classroom in the campus, guiding and mentoring all of us in our journey of excellence with lot amount of energy and zeal. Dear Father, we welcome you. With immense pleasure, I welcome Father Emmanuel PJ, Director, Jayanti College of Law, Director, International Relations, Father Joshi Matthew, Coordinator, Department of English, Father Deepu Joy, Student Welfare Officer, who always guide and support in all our academic enrichment activities. Dear Fathers, we welcome you all. The college strives to meet the industry expectations and benchmarks through innovative curriculum and pedagogical approaches, which is well coordinated by our academic deans, Dr. Kalisis Jude, Dean Faculty of Sciences, and Dr. Goba Kumar, Dean Faculty of Humanities, seasoned academicians and efficient administrators. Dear professors, we welcome you to the inaugural function. I express my warm welcome to the transformers of future India, principals, administrators, teachers of high schools, higher secondary schools, and few colleges across the nation. We value your virtual presence today. We welcome each and every one of you to the 7th National Educators Meet. Hearty welcome, dear teachers, administrators. The 7th National Educators Meet is the outcome of dedicated, sincere, and sustainable team efforts of the workshop conveners, Dr. Justin Nelson Michael, Director, Center for Research, Professor Mary Jacob, Faculty, Department of Computer Science, Member, IQAC, Dr. Jonas Richard, Head, Department of Social Work, Professor Senbi Matthews, Director, Center for Employability on Corporate Relations, and the faculty coordinators of MEET, Mrs. Surjit Sinha, Faculty, Department of Commerce, and Ms. Soumya Simon, Faculty, Department of Psychology. With immense pleasure, I welcome the conveners and faculty coordinators. I welcome all the members of the IQAC and all my fellow colleagues to the inaugural function of the program. I wish all the participants an enriching learning experience during a 3-day national level educators meet. I welcome you one and all, thanking you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Aloysius Edward, Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Management and IQAC Director, with his effective leadership, conjunct with people management skills and earnest enthusiasm, always kindles a great deal of energy in all our endeavors. On behalf of everyone present here, I welcome you, sir. Technology can become the wings that will allow the educational world to fly farther and faster than ever before, if we allow it. This 3 days educators meet is a platform for the educators across the country to come together, share their ideas on various aspects of technology in education to strengthen the existing system, evolve new ideas, and charter new directions. I request the passionate technocrat teacher, Ms. Ramya B., Associate Professor, Department of History, and Associate Director of IQAC, to give a prelude to the meet.
Honorable Dr. Sridhar Srivastava, Joint Director, NCRT, Reverend Dr. Augustine George, Principal of Kristu Jayanti College, principals and administrators of various universities, pre-university colleges, higher secondary and senior secondary schools who have gathered from different parts of India, and my dear Jayantian colleagues, Namaste. I respectfully bow before all the educators here for answering the yeoman call of becoming gurus, and you are pursuing the mission of enlightening the lives of others. We come from a nation that is known for one of the best educational systems, where the focus of our Gurukul system was to provide learning to students in a natural environment where Shishyas lived with brotherhood, humanity, love, and discipline. The essential teachings of languages, sciences, mathematics was made through group discussions and self-study. Students completed daily tasks independently in order to acquire practical skills. They left the institution with self-confidence, discipline, intellect, and attention. We come from such a legacy. The Taittiriya Upanishad describes Panchakosha personality. It comprises of material or body, Annamaya Kosha, the vital or instinctual component, Pranamaya Kosha, the mental or psychological component, Manomaya Kosha, the intellectual component, Vijnanmaya Kosha, and the fifth aspect of pure bliss and happiness, Anandmaya Kosha. Hence, the process of learning that we are all catering to must address these 5 elements that need to be developed in every child. The ambience in which a student and teacher interact might have changed tremendously. The focus is always on student-centric methods to develop the best skill in a student. One need to acknowledge that the mere knowledge-based education that was prevalent for last several centuries had led the world to a state where 40% of adolescents suffered from mental depression. There is a rise of domestic and social violence, and the earth is in the brink of ecological disaster. There is a need to assimilate the best of modern education system, use of technology, and supplement with the traditional ancient knowledge practices for best results. Information, communication, and automation technology has revolutionized the way in which learning happens. Free access to knowledge in consumable capsules at fingertips has dramatically changed the face of education. The 7th All India Educators Meet on Reinventing School Education with Technology Integration promises to meet the both. We have a lineup of eminent resource persons to guide us to reinvent school education with technology integration for the modern educators of today. In the first technical session, Professor Ali Rasa Musvi, former Pro Vice Chancellor and Registrar of English and Foreign Languages, University, Hyderabad, shall elucidate on the changing role of educators in technology-supported learning. In the second technical session, Dr. Rishikesh B.S., Associate Professor, School of Education, Asim Premji University, Bangalore, will be enlightening the changes that are needed to transcend from STEM to STEAM. So STEM refers to science, technology, engineering, and maths, and STEAM is where the arts and design is also included. It promises to be an interesting session. On day 2, 27th of May, Professor Srikanth, Principal, Regional Institute of Education, Mysore, will speak on the importance of NEP's guiding principles and the National Curriculum Framework. In session 4, Shri Gurumurthy Kashinathan, Founder, Member, and Director, IT for Change, will be sharing with us practical application of open educational resources and tools which enable us towards high quality teaching learning. In the session 5, Dr. Manoj Kumar Sharma, Professor of Clinical Psychology, NIMHANS, shall empower the educators to identify and be ready to address the issues of cyber education, cyber addiction that is very common among the young learners. On day 3, on 28th May, in session 6, Mrs. Kalpana Kumar, founder of Care Therapy Center, shall provide new perspectives on engendering inclusive education in mainstream schools. In session 7, Dr. Jonas Richard shall speak on Manomaya Kosha, enhancing psychological well-being of learners. In session 8, Dr. Sendil Kumaran, Chief Confluencer, the Learners Confluence of Bangalore, shall highlight on how to make quality happen in schools through proven sustainable practices. The 7th All India Educators Meet shall end with a valedictory note by Father Jose Kuti, Counselor for Education and Communication Media, St. Joseph Province, Kottayam. I wish on behalf of all the organizing team, a wonderful academic journey for all the participants. A journey of 1,000 miles always begins with a single step. As educators who are interested to constantly reinvent ourselves, this is another journey that has begun. Through technology-enabled learning, we all know technology is just a tool in terms of getting the kids working together, motivating them, and awakening their intellectual. Teacher is most important. So with that in mind, I welcome all of you to the 7th All India Educators Meet.
Thank you, Madam, for that brief prelude. Perfect educationists can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill a love of learning. Today, we are very fortunate to have one such passionate and enthusiastic educator, Dr. Sridhar Srivastava, Joint Director, National Council of Educational Research and Training, Ministry of Education, Government of India, with us today. Dr. Srivastava has an experience of about 28 years as lecturer in statistics at Mahatma Gandhi Chitragut Gramodaya Vishwavidyalaya, reader in educational statistics, and professor of educational survey at NCRT. Sir has also held the charge of chairman, National Institute of Open Schooling, and director NCRT previously, and has led many foundational initiatives in the area of assessment, quality enhancement, and teacher training. Sir has an experience of active policy level engagements with state governments and agencies in the area of school education, and has provided leadership role in conducting national and state level training programs for state and district level educational administrators. Dr. Sridhar has served as head of Educational Survey Division, head of Planning and Monitoring Division, Dean Coordination at NCRT, and was a member of the working group for National Sample Survey 75th round devoted to household consumer expenditure and household social consumption. Sir was a member of the development team for the national document Learning Outcomes at the elementary stage, and has conducted and delivered resource lectures in training programs for capacity building in statistical methods, research methods, sampling techniques, data quality management, to name a few. Professor was a national coordinator of National Achievement Survey and National Talent Search Examination, and was instrumental in bringing about many positive changes in the conduct of these national exercises. Sir is actively contributing to the plan of action for the roles NCRT is playing today after the national educational policy in place. Most significantly, the preparation of national curriculum framework, foundational literacy and numeracy, and large-scale assessment. Sir, your contributions towards quality education at various levels speak volumes, and we are honored to hear from you today. Now, I kindly request you to deliver the inaugural address. Over to you, sir.
A very good evening. Namaskar. Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yes. Thank you for this very loud explanation about my experience. Revered Father, Dr. George, and other members of the organizing team, principals, deans, Dr. Edward, esteemed resource person for his deliberation being organized by HUAC, Kristu Jayanti College, and most importantly, the teachers who are here. I see about 500 participants or audience are listening to this deliberation. Friends, I tell you honestly, I feel blessed and honored to be here before you all. Thanks for this opportunity. As just the speaker was mentioning about my experience, I should say it at the very outset that I'm a person from the mathematical science, and I am working in the area of school education since last 21 years, 22 years. And before that, I got opportunity to work in the rural area. I would say that the domain of the rural development and teaching statistics and any related course to the students coming from very humble background. So I would say that whatever I would be putting forth before you all teachers, I consider that I am less experienced than you all, in the sense then you people are interacting with the young minds, and the opportunity that you people are getting, we get in slightly different form. We are a national level organization. We are working for the school education in the country. primarily with an advisory role. And so the practical opportunity that the teachers are getting who are connected in this program, it's very interesting to learn from them, their side also. But nevertheless, the experiences that I would like to put forth would surely give some points to ponder and proceed further. As the title of this 3 days deliberation says, reinventing school education with technology integration. So the action words, if we consider, is the reinventing and then technology integration. Friends, let us think why reinventing. We all know that we have before us National Education Policy 2020, and it's a very aspirational document, very aspirational policy. I would say that the month of September 2020, when there was a very great occasion and we were celebrating the Shikshak Parv here in Delhi, and the teachers were connected, a very, very meaningful words, a sentence came from the mouth of Honorable Prime Minister. He said that this policy document is not only a document or simply a policy, it associates itself to the aspiration of this 1.3 billion persons of this country. It means to say that the policy has posited certain things which we can say that it is associated with each and every person of this country. How, I would just like to throw some light. Let us see the situation in which we are proceeding further, or we are trying to reinvent education. There are certain situations which are very, very much true to the global situation, and there are certain situations or things which are very true to the country, this country to which we belong. You see, India has a very young population. We know demographic dividend is a phrase or the term we talk very often about. We have the youngest median age when we compare ourselves with many developed countries or economies. We have the youngest median age, and we have to just bear the fruit of this median age, and we will remain so for about, you can say, 2 decades more. So this is a situation which is a global truth. Then, you know, the world is becoming multipolar. Gone are the days when we were just adhering to or seeing some first world, second world, or the third world. Now, this is multipolar world. We are moving in that situation, in that scenario, that any country, any group of population is very important, and they can emerge as a very strong, you can say, entity or pole, means everybody would look towards that. And then one very important point we should notice, as many teachers are here from the commerce and management, many new avenues are coming, very new avenues of trade and growth is coming up. So this is also a scenario which is very true at the world level, and we should just see it when we talk about reinventing the education. And no doubt, when the Dean was mentioning about the free flow of information, data, ICT, we have to think about integration of ICT, then obviously there are many sunrise technologies which are coming up. For example, the AR, VR, artificial intelligence, all these things. Nowadays, I never thought during my PhD days also, I didn't get any opportunity to operate a computer. Even when I became lecturer, I didn't get opportunity to touch a computer. Nowadays, you See, the children in the school stage are talking about AR/VR. The policy mentions about this. So this is also a scenario which is a reality. Now, if I come to the reality which we are just seeing, means these are the change which we are finding in the country itself also. The director of IQSC was mentioning a few points. You see, we are also changing very fastly as a society. And, I would say, and you all may agree with that, that whenever we have to talk about the education, its aim or something, we have to talk about the outcome of the education per se within the school as a learning space, and also the society as an entity. And this both have a bearing on each other. Education can be impacted by the society that we have, and society has also to get impacted by the education that is being transacted in school as a learning space or as an institution in the learning space. Very sadly, I would like to just mention the case of Texas school shooting. So I don't want to talk about that, but what I'm trying to indicate is very important. So as a country, we have to keep that in mind when we embark upon any deliberation of reinventing the school education. You know, the demographic situation in the country and the social fabric in the country is also changing. Family size is changing. You know, family as an institution and the kind of emotional strength then we were found fortunate enough to derive from the society or from our neighborhood is also changing. You all must be experiencing it with children, with students, adult students also coming to colleges and talking to them. And then a very important point which is reflected in the policy also is that indigenous knowledge. Now we are seeing that around the globe, the indigenous knowledge of India is being acclaimed and is being proved to be very, very scientific. So this is also a situation where we have found a kind of resurgence that our sound foundation in technological research, medical sciences, which we consider as indigenous knowledge, that is also being talked about by the researchers the world around. And we have certain strengths. We should say that we should be rather very proud of that. We have an element of psychological basis for coexistence with nature, and we have the knowledge of flora and fauna. When I got opportunity to travel around the country and discussing with many great educators, educationists, you all know there are tribal universities coming up in India, central government being funded by central government. We are finding that the knowledge which is there with our tribals fellows, our fellow citizens, it is so strengthful, be it in the area of medical science, be it in the area of the other cleanliness practices, living with the nature, sustenance. All these are very strong strength of our country, which we should just be very proud of, and we should feel strengthful with those ability. One speaker was just mentioning about the Panchakosha. The Panchakosha, this is the development dimension. We all know that the ultimate that is called the Ananda. Why we see that our students who are from IIT and IIM and then moving to Stanford, and then they are moving to MIT. And at certain point of time working in McKinsey or the Boston Consulting Group, they are just coming back and talking about Seva, Sadhana, and Satsang. So these are the things that I wanted to say, that these are very strong emotional foundation that we have in our country. No doubt that nowadays we find among students that sometimes they look very shattered or weak emotionally. But we can say that in our blood and in our society, we have these kind of strengths. Yes, the changing time is probably troubling us on certain accounts. So all these scenarios, now I come to the national education policy. The policy gives us opportunity to surely rethink and reinvent the education, and surely for scaling up our efforts, and for, we say, the scale, speed, and size, for that technology integration is very important. So the points which I feel are important from the policy side, policy says as a principle that we have to identify the strength of each individual child. We have to identify the sound foundation and strength of local context, and we have to just nurture it, and we have to just derive strength from that. Local history, local knowledge, local material, these are very important things. For sustenance, green school, any school, if it is moving with the local context, any institution, if moving with the local context, it is very, very strengthful for the school to sustain. We know the SDG goals. SDG goals, if we see very, very threadbare, so we find that the local knowledge, local strength is very important to potentially use for our purpose. And the policy talks about no hard boundaries. There should be no hard boundaries as regard to academic, vocational stream. There should be no hard boundaries as regard to science, social science, and commerce. No hard boundaries as regard to curricular, co-curricular, extracurricular. But all these things are easier said than done. We are deliberating nowadays, since we are involved in enacting national curriculum framework, long discussions are required. But I feel that technology can be harnessed, can be integrated for all this purpose. The policy talks about a very big objective, a very big target for vocational education. If you talk about demographic dividend, our children should be full with the skills and ability to sustain their life in economic sense. So vocational educations are very important. And for vocational education, technology has to be harnessed for virtual labs and for e-labs. For all these areas, technology is to be harnessed. I am very firm in one thing, that the real teaching before the blackboard cannot be substituted by a online class. But surely it is very important that, keeping in view the huge economic demand, the huge investment that is required for reaching to that target of vocational education, we have to harness technology. So I think I'm taking much time, but I would just conclude in 1 minute that, and I have to proceed, I have to go out of station also. But lastly, I would say that for all these things, it is very important that the teaching learning process, be it at the college stage or school stage, has to think about assessment. Because we ask our children, or we demand from our children to have creativity. They have to have original thinking, collaborative efforts, critical thinking, and then the empathy and their ability to work in team. So any institution, be it higher institution or the school as a learning space, if we do not provide children opportunity to exhibit such ability, or we are not able to assess that there is progress in the behavior of the students as regard to these aspects and transversal skills, so we will not be succeeding into that. We have not to load our children with content or simply information. So these are very important things. And obviously teacher training will also be required. And that's why the deliberation that we are going to have for 3 days will be very important, because at least listening to these ideas and cross ideas give us some food for thought and reflection. So with all these points, I would be just concluding here, and there is some paucity of time from my side also. And I would say at the last that I am really very happy to get this opportunity to say a few words before you all. Thank you, Father. Thank you all other members of the organizing team at the institution for giving me this opportunity. Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that inspirational thoughts and highlighting the need to put NEP into action in this multiple world to evolve as a strong entity, embracing technology to meet the needs of the digital millennium of today. Recognize and explore the new avenues, quickly adapt to changes, and work towards holistic development of individuals, contributing to the welfare of human race across the globe and towards the sustainable development goals. I'm sure your thoughts will surely mark a great start for all the educators in the smart educational world. Thank you, sir. I, on behalf of Kristu Jayanti College and all the delegates present here, take this opportunity to appreciate and thank the chief guest, Dr. Sridhar Srivastava, for taking time out of his busy schedule to be part of this great event, making a beautiful start for the 3 days educators meet. As Dr. Sridhar has to take part in another important assignment, sir will not be able to stay with us throughout the program. I once again express our heartfelt thanks to you, sir, for the esteemed presence and sharing your valuable thoughts. Thank you, sir. Kristu Jayanti College is doubly blessed with the perfect leadership of Father Dr. Agustin George, who with his blended people skills and technical skills drives Kristu Jayanti College to greater altitude. Father, I request you to deliver the presidential address.
Most distinguished and honored Dr. Sridhar Srivastava, Joint Director, NCERT, respected principals, administrators, delegates. Warm greetings from Kristu Jayanti College Autonomous. I'm profusely delighted to welcome all of you to the 7th edition of Educators Meet, which witnesses participants from across India and abroad. We are truly honored to have Dr. Sridhar Srivastava as our chief guest to inaugurate the 7th All India Educators Meet. And I place on record our gratitude for gracing this occasion and set right tone to this conference. This conference is furthermore distinct and magnificent with the presence of many of the principals, education secretaries, the administrators, and other luminaries from different sectors from India and abroad. And I join with entire Kristu Jayanti family to welcome all of them and wish an enriching time ahead. Kristu Jayanti College carries the rich tradition and legacy of CMI educational philosophy, started by Saint Kuriakose Elias Chavara, the founder of CMI congregation. The mission of the college is to build a renewed humanity through the integral development of mind, body, and spirit. The motto of the college, the light and prosperity, aims at this synthesis, the harmony of the spiritual and the physical, the mind and the body. We had a humble beginning with the 9 students in 1999, but made exponential growth in terms of the number of students as of now 9,000 plus. And our quality journey was highly recognized in its various ranking in national and international level. As Professor Aloysius Edward mentioned, the accreditation by the NAC helped has made us college to get a score of 3.78 out of 4, an A++ grade. Educators Meet is a venture to connect with you principals, the academicians, to share and discuss the insights and thoughts on the best practices and how to find and nurture the core competencies of each the institution. We started this Educators Meet as a sponsored event where we could admit only 150 participants. But the present pandemic situation demanded us to go for a virtual session. And we are encouraged to see the registration and the participation. I join with the entire Kristu Jayanti family to appreciate all of you for your thoughtfulness and willingness to utilize this time for professional and personal enrichment. Few of the participants are known to me personally. Even I could visit many of the institutions as well. Many of you were the part of our previous Educators Meet. We got a reference from our own students who carries the rich tradition and the culture of your institution. I highly commend the great service you are entering to the society through your esteemed the institution. The context of schooling is changing. So does the framework for bringing about the sustainable the educational change. While dealing with the educational change, the emphasis need to shift from strategic planning to strategic thinking and execution, from the management model of control and command to empowering and networking, from the planned and fixed strategy to building sustainable capacity of the people, and from transferring people to transforming the people. Whatever the great our institution is, our success depends on how we are committed to create communities around us. I may classify these communities primarily into 3 categories: the academic community, the administrative community, and the well-wishers community. Sustainability and the survivability of the institution depends on how good we are fostering and nurturing these communities. We focused very much to develop the academic community. We go for the best teachers, and our prime attention is on that, to have the best teachers and good teaching. We have the good support staff, and we go for the good students. I can say that even the parent also matters. I think almost all the institutions are very particular about the academic process. But from the circle of this academic community, I think we need to develop an administrative community to run the institution in general, I can say, and in particular to manage the programs, to develop the best practices, to offer the best services, to sustain the academic and institutional culture, and the list goes like that. And along with this, developing the administrative community, I think this can be done by delegating our own members, and empower them certain powers and delegate them the work. We need to look at the well-wishers community, mostly people who are related to our institution. And this is a prerequisite for the growth and establishment of our institution. And how big this community is, the perception goes high, our branding also will go high, and we will have the place in the education map of our particular city or state, or I can say in our country. So it is a need of the time to have a transitional change, to view the role and strength of an education institution from securing the high results to the crucial phase of, I can say, the transformation and the learning. The growth or development trajectory of a school education can be viewed using the many parameters like the policy, the culture of the institution, the quality of the teachers, the enrollment of the students, the process and procedures for the delivery of the services, the unique practices that we have, and most importantly, the desired outcome that we wish to have. All of you are coming from a rich background of the administrative capacity, because many of the principals are there and the administrators are there. And you have a very good academic excellence. You have a futuristic vision. We really admire. But the objective of this virtual conference is not to offer a certain recipe or instruction, but the objective of this conference is to facilitate thought-provoking deliberations and knowledge sharing on the theme. We are talking about the integration of the technology into our education system. So we are here to share from our own experiences, from the input of our well-wishers, and how an empowered community in an institution transform both the administrative and academic culture and process, and how the technology will leverage the greater potential of an institution, and how people and resource management can be better utilized for the growth and expansion. So I'm sure that all of you have something to take away from each of the session. I acknowledge with the satisfaction the team of professors from Kristu Jayanti College Autonomous, especially Father Emmanuel, and Dr. Jonas Richard, Professor Mary Jacob, Dr. Nelson, and the core team for the committed and meticulous work to organize this program. I'm proud to say the KJC teachers have created a name and fame with their intellectual acumen. The training session and the consultancy work in various domains, especially I think our teachers are very much demanded by the many of the schools and colleges. And our CCPD team had an extensive training session with many of the schools. At every opportunity, they have expressed their willingness and readiness to contribute for the great inspiration and accomplishment of the many institutions in what capacity they have. Thank you, the deans, the heads of the department, or the teachers of Kristu Jayanti College. The father of the modern philosophy, the René Descartes, once said, "I think, therefore I am." The existence and progress of humanity is due to the ability of the people to think creatively. So through this conference, we expect a synergy of creatively thinking minds, fusion and diffusion of ideas, and above all, the realization of enriching and enlightening power of the knowledge. Thanking all of you once again, and thanking our chief guest, Professor Sridhar Srivastava, for gracing this occasion. I wish all of you all the best. May God bless you. I remain. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father. I'm sure your words of appreciation and your thoughts on sustainable education, insisting the change is needed at every level of the institution, academic, administration, and well-wishers community with innovative practices has set the theme for success and positive action that is certain to echo throughout the 3 days meet. And I'm sure this educators meet is a beginning of a long-lasting relationship with all the educators across the globe. Thank you, Father. Expressing gratitude is one of the simplest yet powerful acts human can do for each other. I request Dr. Callistus Jude, Dean, Faculty of Sciences, to put in words our feelings of gratitude.
Honorable dignitaries and delegates, very good evening to one and all. The COVID-19 pandemic has demonstrated why technology should be a vital part of teaching and learning. By integrating technology into existing curriculum, as opposed to using it solely as a crisis management tool, teachers can harness online learning as a powerful educational tool. Kristu Jayanti College sincerely hopes that the deliberations at this educators meet will review the facilitating aspects and the dynamics of technology integration in education system, which may address the educational challenges of our country. At the closing of this inaugural ceremony, we deem it a privilege to express our sincere thanks to the dignitaries, guests, and the delegates. We are indeed very grateful to our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Sridhar Srivastava, Joint Director, National Council of Educational Research and Training, Ministry of Education, Government of India, for gracing and inaugurating the educators meet. His presence and insights are an encouragement to all of us in this forum. We are grateful for his willingness and readiness to share his time and profound thoughts. On behalf of the principal, management of Kristu Jayanti College, the conveners of the educators meet, and the delegates, we wholeheartedly express our profound gratitude to Dr. Sridhar Srivastava. Father Dr. Augustine George, the principal of Kristu Jayanti College, creates opportunities and constantly supports professional development activities, which in turn empower faculty members to build a positive learning culture. Our sincere thanks to you, dear Father. Our heartfelt gratitude to the members of the management team of Kristu Jayanti College, Father Lijo, the financial administrator, Father Emmanuel, Director, Kristu Jayanti College of Law, Father Joshi, Coordinator, Department of English, and Father Deepu, Director, Student Welfare Office. Their insights and initiatives and constant guidance are imperative in planning and organizing the educators meet. Thank you, dear Father. A bouquet of thanks to Dr. Aloysius Edward, Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Management, and the Director, Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Dr. Kumar, Dean, Faculty of Humanities, the heads of the department, the coordinators of academic programs, members of the IQAC, faculty members, and administrative staff for their unhesitant and ever-willing support in organizing this event. The conveners of this educators meet, Professor Mary Jacob, Dr. Jones Richard, Dr. Justin Nelson Michael, and Professor Sandy Matthews, and the faculty coordinators, Mr. Sujit Sinha and Ms. Soumya Simon, have meticulously planned this program, ensuring everything falls into place. Our profound thanks to you, dear Professor. When planning an event such as this, it is imperative to gain the participation of experts in the field. We are fortunate to have eminent resource persons. Their thoughts will contribute greatly to this meet. Their willingness to share their time and expertise is greatly appreciated. Kristu Jayanti College is grateful to all the resource persons for their invaluable contribution. Dear principals, administrators, secretaries of institutions, and teaching fraternity who are the delegates for this educators meet, your presence is a reassurance that you are determined to conquer the horizons in which our students will sail. Thank you, honorable dignitaries, delegates, for your interest in being part of this event and for being the key players in the success story of this educators meet. We sincerely hope that this educators meet will enhance our understanding on the aspects of technology integration in school education, thereby creating learners who are actively engaged with the learning objectives and creating pathways for differentiated instruction to meet the unique needs of our students. Once again, a heartfelt thanks to one and all.
Thank you, sir. We express our gratitude and appreciation to Dr. Callistus Joe, Dean Faculty of Sciences, for all the guidance and support provided in making this meet a successful one. Thank you, sir. With this, we have come to the end of the inaugural session. The impact of technology in education sector is witnessed by all of us, and we need to face the truth. Technology is the in thing in the world today, and it has become necessary in each and every aspect of our lives, and educational sector is not an exception. Let the 3 days of educators meet aid to plunge in powerful ideas, interact with inspirational speakers, connect with innovative educators, and share your passion for transformative learning, enabling each of us to go that extra mile to reposition, renew, reorganize, and systematically adapt to the changing technologies. Wishing all of you a fruitful learning, which would enable the educators across the globe to empower generations. Thank you. I now request all the delegates to switch on the video so that we take a picture. You can do it by clicking the camera icon down, video icon down, you can click on it. Thank you. I now request Ms. Alna Maria Isaac to take us to the technical section 1.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, one and all. We will be beginning with the first technical session of the Educators Meet on the topic, the changing role of educators in technology-supported learning shortly. I request one and all to remain in the meeting for the technical session.